Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a classic episode of The Big Bang Theory, Season 2, Episode 13, titled The Friendship Algorithm. If you've ever wondered how the brilliantly awkward Sheldon Cooper attempts to navigate the complex world of human connection, especially when there's a scientific resource on the line, this episode is a perfect example. Get ready for logical systems applied to the illogical world of friendship and some truly hilarious social experiments. Let's jump in. The episode kicks off, as often happens, at the university cafeteria. Our main gang, Sheldon, Leonard, Howard, and Raj, are engaged in a high-stakes debate about the merits of tapioca versus chocolate pudding. This relatively mundane argument is abruptly interrupted by the arrival of Barry Kripke, a rival physicist known for his distinct speech impediment and generally irritating demeanor. Kripke quickly gets under Leonard's skin by taunting him about a failed experiment and highlighting his own access to the university's cutting-edge open science grid computer. Seeing Kripke control this vital research tool, Sheldon has a sudden practical revelation. He needs access to that computer, and Kripke only lets his friends use it. Therefore, despite Kripke's obvious lack of social graces, which Sheldon points out with typical bluntness, Sheldon decides he must befriend him. This isn't about genuine connection for Sheldon, it's a purely strategic maneuver to gain access to the grid. True to form, Sheldon doesn't bother with subtle social cues. He immediately approaches Kripke with a direct offer of friendship, which Kripke, with equal bluntness, immediately rejects. Undeterred, Sheldon concludes that friendship, like any complex system, must be understandable and conquerable through logic and data. He decides to approach it scientifically, embarking on a series of increasingly bizarre attempts to figure out how to make friends. This includes creating a lengthy, intrusive questionnaire for his current friends to analyze their relationship with him. You can see Sheldon's unique, slightly disturbing approach here. Sheldon genuinely believes this is the most rational way to understand human connection, much to the exasperation of his friends, especially Penny. Howard's response, drawing a raccoon with a distended scrotum, clearly indicates how well the questionnaire is being received. When the questionnaire yields unsatisfactory data, Leonard suggests perhaps a book might help. Sheldon heads to a bookstore and naturally is directed to the children's section, finding titles like Stu the Cockatoo is New at the Zoo. Take a look at Sheldon's attempt at the bookstore. He even attempts to apply his newfound knowledge immediately by awkwardly trying to make friends with a little girl reading Curious George, asking if she likes monkeys. Back home, with his research complete, he develops a detailed flowchart outlining his friendship algorithm. He proudly unveils this complex diagram to his friends, who are understandably amused and skeptical. According to the flowchart, the next step is to identify Kripke's interests and schedule activities, which leads to an unlikely suggestion: rock climbing. Reluctantly, Sheldon agrees to try rock climbing with Kripke, accompanied by Howard and Raj. Sheldon's logical mind struggles to justify the activity, initially declaring that falling is a prudent evolutionary behavior. However, his theory quickly clashes with reality when he starts climbing. You can see the moment Sheldon's logic fails him on the wall. Reaching the halfway point, Sheldon suddenly stops, admitting his genuine fear of heights, and, in quintessential Sheldon fashion, announces his intention to pass out. He then promptly faints and is lowered unconscious. Despite this disastrous outing, Kripke seems to find the whole ordeal amusing and apparently accepts Sheldon's friendship. Later, the group is eating Chinese food when Sheldon arrives with Kripke, proudly introducing him as his new friend. The others are surprised, especially when Kripke casually mentions Sheldon passing out on the climbing wall. Sheldon Cooper arrives with Barry Kripke, introducing him as his new friend. Kripke greets them, and Leonard Hofstadter asks about the rock climbing. Kripke explains that Sheldon passed out. Sheldon, ever rigid in his adherence to logic and systems, then declares that, according to his algorithm, he can only maintain 5 friendships simultaneously and must eliminate one to make room for Kripke. After a brief, tense deliberation based on arbitrary criteria, like knowing Sheldon's favorite amino acid, Raj is the unfortunate one voted out of Sheldon's inner circle. With Kripke seemingly integrated into the group, Howard attempts to seize the opportunity, asking Kripke for time on the open science grid computer. However, Kripke flatly refuses, stating he sticks to the official schedule. Sheldon is crestfallen. His entire elaborate plan was for naught. He immediately declares his intention to reinstate Raj into the friend group, abandoning his new friendship with Kripke as quickly as he started it. Kripke, meanwhile, manages to thoroughly gross out Penny with his explanation of why he flosses before eating. You can see the moment Sheldon realizes his plan failed and Penny's reaction to Kripke.